Lots of good advice, but are Harry and Meghan too stupid to take it? Heading into 2024, many experts and commentators are sharing what they think Harry and Meghan should try different in 2024. But are Harry and Meghan going to listen to any of this advice, or are they going to continue to do the same old, and destroy their reputations even further?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel.
Sometimes I imagine Harry and Meghan sit around thinking, wow, we just can't do anything right, can we? And sometimes I gotta agree with them, it does seem that way. But the problem is, it might be accurate. I mean, it really does seem like everything they try absolutely fails. And every time they try to make themselves look better, they only make themselves look worse. It does seem like they finally figured out that overexposure was a big problem of theirs. We haven't heard from them in a very long time for them. So either they're trying to lay low and hope that we forget about everything that's happened and are willing to give them a second chance, or could it be that something else is going on behind the scenes that they don't want us to know about? Now, personally, I suspect that the marriage between Meghan and Harry is over, and they're just waiting for the right time to announce the divorce. But there are also reports claiming that Harry and Meghan are preparing for some kind of reboot in which they're going to try to reinvent themselves and come back stronger than ever. Is it gonna work if that's really what's going on? Absolutely not. But it's never stopped them from trying before, has it? One thing is pretty clear, though. Harry and Meghan can no longer make a living out of trashing the royal family. They're going to have to come up with something else, something more positive, something more meaningful to people in the world. Their brand so far has been incredibly toxic, and people are turned off at this point. People are not interested in the negativity anymore. Understandably so. We have enough problems in this world. I think people who are public figures who claim to entertain us or inspire us, as Meghan and Harry have claimed they were going to do, have a responsibility to do exactly that. I mean, we are living in some very stressful times. We need a break from it all. We need something to be excited about, something to feel hopeful about. The problem, however, as I see it, is really that Harry and Meghan don't have anything to offer. So experts have been weighing in, telling Harry and Meghan what they should and should not do. I think everybody agrees that Harry and Meghan certainly need to reconcile with the royal family, if that's even possible at this point. Now, if you ask me, there is no way the family is ever going to forgive Meghan. Harry may have a way back in, but I think he's going to have to dump Meghan first. As reported in the Express Online, royal commentator Michael Cole has weighed in recently on this situation. He spoke with GB News and he's saying that Harry and Meghan really need to come out of a new box because last year was full of criticism relentlessly, repetitively of their own family, end quote. I think Michael Cole is making a very important point here. But the question is, are Harry and Meghan going to listen to this sound advice? Or are they going to continue to try to make money any way they can, even if it involves trashing Harry's family even more? Michael Cole was also really bothered by Harry trying to guilt trip his father over Frogmore Cottage last year, basically telling King Charles, oh, so you don't ever want to see your grandchildren again? And I agree with Michael. That was a really low down and dirty way to handle that situation. And again, I mean, do we even know for sure that the grandchildren exist? Mr. Cole has called it a quote, great tragedy that the king never gets to see Prince Archie or Princess Lilibet. And I agree with him, assuming the children are actually real, that is. If Archie and Lilibet are real, I do feel sorry for them because basically they're living like children of divorced parents, even if Harry and Meghan are still together. They are still caught in the middle in this family fight. And I just hate that. That is the one thing that bothers me perhaps more than anything, is when children are used as pawns in some kind of game being played against two adults. I mean, how low can you get? I know Harry and Meghan think that they're punishing the king by not allowing him to see them or to see Prince Archie or Princess Lilibet. But the people who are really missing out even more than the king are Archie and Lilibet themselves, again, assuming they're even real. By all accounts, the king absolutely is a loving grandfather. He loves to spend time with Prince George and Princess Charlotte and little Prince Louis, too. He dotes on them. You can tell that he just loves spending time with them. But Harry and Meghan don't seem to be interested in giving their children that kind of relationship with their own grandfather, which is an absolute shame if you ask me. I still remember the time that I got to spend with my grandmother when I was a little girl, and now being a grandmother myself, I gotta say there was something so special about the relationship between a grandparent and a grandchild. I mean, we can let them get away with stuff their parents never would, and we can really just show them love and affection in a way that maybe we couldn't with our own children. Maybe with our own children, we were too busy, we were distracted. With our grandchildren, though, we get a second chance. And I think that's the way that King Charles feels too, especially after Harry has accused him of being such a cold, distant father. I'm sure he would really appreciate a chance to make it up. And I know that Harry has said some awful things about his father, but at the same time, he needs to recognize that King Charles is not going to be around forever. Harry really needs to spend time with him while he's got the chance. I don't believe that King Charles is going to make it as long as his mother did. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But the Queen was in excellent health. The Queen was a very, very, very special individual. I don't believe the King's health is quite as good as hers was at his age. And so, most likely, I mean, men also don't live as long as women. So, most likely, Harry is not going to have decades to make peace with his father. He's got to get to it now. Michael Cole also believes that King Charles is trying to do a really good job as a grandfather because he says he shows the affection to his family that perhaps as a child he didn't receive himself. And we've seen that. We have seen the king be so affectionate with his grandchildren. We saw him hug Louis in that clip after Harry claimed that he never gives hugs. Obviously, that wasn't true. I mean, okay, to be fair to Harry, maybe when he was a child it was true. Maybe at that point in time, King Charles was not so in touch with his emotions, but obviously something has changed on that front. Obviously, now he is not afraid to show the love that he feels. I remember seeing it happen with my own father. I remember when I was a little girl, my father was a bit, I don't know, a bit tough, I guess I could say. He wasn't really the lovey dovey type. He didn't show affection very much. He was a bit distant from all of us, and mostly when he interacted with us, it was to yell at us or to tell us we were doing something wrong. But then, as he got older, and as I had children of my own and he became a grandfather, he showed a whole different side to himself, and our relationship became so much stronger. Harry could have that right now if only he would just apologize, admit that he and Meghan have made some big mistakes, admit that he was wrong, and I do believe he would be forgiven by his family. And perhaps he won't be forgiven by William. But you know what? Sometimes that's the way it's got to go. I do believe, however, that the king is serious when he said the door is always going to be open to Harry. I believe that at this point it doesn't matter. King Charles loves his son no matter what. He understands that Harry has been brainwashed by Meghan Markle. And I think that if Harry can take the right steps, can divorce Meghan and move back home and apologize for everything he has done, I do believe there is a way for him to reunite with his family. The first step, though, is going to be getting rid of Meghan Markle because let's remember, Meghan doesn't really believe in family. She doesn't care about family. Just look at what she has done with her own family. She cut off her father, who took care of her entire life. The only family member she has a relationship with at this point is her mother, Doria, who abandoned her when she was young anyway. I'm not really sure why Doria gets a pass when her father doesn't, but I guess Doria taught her all her grifting ways, so she's got to owe her for that. Mr. Cole said, "We have a situation where Megan is hardly on speaking terms with any member of her family apart from her mother and one niece." And I agree with him. This is something we need to be paying attention to. This is something that is a big problem that shows that Meghan Markle is a very sick individual. So he suggests that Harry and Meghan need to come out of a new box, but he doesn't really say what he means exactly. But there are plenty of people right now who are telling Harry and Meghan the same thing. They have got to stop what they're doing. They have got to find a new way to live, a new way to make money, and only then is there any hope of redemption. And even then, it's only a hope. And what about you? If you could give Harry and Meghan a few words of advice, what would you tell them? Please let me know your answer below in the comments section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like and share it with anybody else who would appreciate it too.
And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.